So why would you sleep with random man?
I don't know.
You can sleep with random man if you choose so.
Yeah.
But if it's a free game...
There's no... It never made sense from the beginning.
Should I just stop trying to make sense?
Yeah, you're trying to make sense of a bunch of like...
Just tell me, don't make sense, Andrew. Just stop there. Like, I don't try making sense of things that don't make sense.
I will stop you there and say you're trying to make sense of irrational people.
Probably they're not Lucy. I don't know. I never met these ladies. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, you're not going to get a lot out of... You're not going to get to know them by watching that podcast, that's for sure.
So I get them there, and I always be like, okay, click on it, and then block, because I don't want to see it again.
Yeah.
But it always comes back.
And welcome to the Billy and Andre Show. My name is Billy.
Oh, and my name is Andre. I wasn't sure if you wanted me to call myself Billy for a change. And
I don't think names.
I don't think it's gonna fool anyone.
No, not really.
The accent kind of gives away.
We should totally do a thing where we're doing an impression of each other's accents for an entire podcast.
Oh, you will be very racist. You trying to do a Romanian accent?
Me trying to do a Romanian? No, I can. It just goes.
It wouldn't work.
No,
it wouldn't work. It will get very. It will offend people.
Yeah, I don't want to do that. I don't. Well, I do, but not innocent people. Anyway, how are you, my friend? How are you?
Really
doing?
Good, really good.
Feeling
another
jazzed?
Monday, another recording. Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
It is.
Well, actually, I'm not sure it's gonna be fun because
it might also be really depressing, but it could be fun at the same time.
It's gonna be a bit of both.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's a good balance.
Keep people like on a roller coaster.
Yeah,
it's gonna be really high. The highs are gonna be really high, and the lows are gonna be very low.
Here's a cute episode about squirrels. Here's an episode about, like, Nazis. It's
like, great.
It's the Billy and Andre Show. Who knows where it's going to go?
It's funny because I was meant to have a subject for this one, but I didn't.
Yeah.
Sorry.
You are bad, Andre.
Oh,
you are a bad boy. Go in the doghouse.
Yes, in the cat house I prefer, sir. I'd rather be in a cat house than a dog house, sir.
Because in a dog house you might have to walk somewhere.
Yeah.
Too much effort being a dog.
It's way too much effort. Way too much effort.
Luckily, our lack of topic, or Andre's lack of a topic, was saved by the voice of reason.
Yeah, she always saves us.
Yeah, who from behind the scenes was saying stuff. I was like, hey, why don't you talk about this? And this that she was talking about was a bunch of alpha male bullshit that seems to be completely permeating the online space again.
Yeah, well, it never went away, though.
It's had so many different forms in the last, 10 years. As far back as I can remember, spending too much time on the internet, from basically, 10 years ago until now, there's been, this constant sort of flow of, content that's targeted at men that's intended to make men worse, if that makes sense.
Which I never got that. If you have a good advice to somebody, just give them good advice rather than telling them, oh, you can be stronger, you can be bigger, you can do this, you should do this, and then it just became sexist.
Yeah, basically. It started out as, it all started with Gamergate. Do you know if you remember Gamergate?
No, I do not remember him.
Okay, so I don't remember him.
Am I wrong?
Okay. The Gamergate thing was basically a lot of... basically, a woman made a video game, then the video game was reviewed by her ex-boyfriend, and then he accused her of cheating on him, and the entire internet basically decided that this woman was the devil, and decided to basically try and bully her into...
So let's bring that back. She made a game.
Yes. It was called Depression Quest. It's a really, really short text-based RPG.
Was it any good? Okay.
It was alright.
And then
nothing wrong with it.
And then her husband or her boyfriend just started hating. They broke up and he started hating on her.
Yeah, basically.
Okay.
Made up a bunch of shit that was never proven. Didn't matter. A bunch of people online decided that this woman was the reason that they don't have a girlfriend. So they decided to target her.
Wait. Why is this woman's fault you don't have a girlfriend?
The excuse they used was, actually, we're just going after ethics in game journalism.
Okay.
Because apparently she slept with men for good reviews of her video game, which is bullshit because it was a free video game that she wasn't selling for money.
So why would you sleep with random men?
I don't know.
You can sleep with random men if you choose so.
Yeah.
But if it's a free game,
there's no. It never made sense from the beginning.
Should I just stop trying to make sense?
Yeah, you're trying to make sense of a bunch of like.
Just tell me, don't make sense, Andrew. Just stop there. Like, I don't try making sense of things that don't make sense.
I will stop you there and say you're trying to make sense of irrational people. You know, a bunch of teenagers on the internet, basically, and you're never going to get any good sort of analysis of that. It was just a bunch of freaks being freaks.
Well, fair enough.
But it did change a lot of discourse because all of a sudden, a bunch of guys, like it wasn't, a lot of really big YouTubers decided to make content that was specifically targeted at that audience of really pissed off teenage boys.
Okay.
So you've got a bunch of teenage boys who are frothing at the mouth about the fact that they haven't got laid yet. And that makes a massive, massive, devoted audience just ripe for the taking. So, you can just sell shit to them.
Yep.
A bunch of really famous YouTubers did this. And they still continue to this day in different forms.
We can still see them.
Yeah. The thing that sort of really came out of that was this men's rights activism movement, which then split off into 18 different movements, quote unquote, massive inverted commas around every time I say the word movement here. There was, you've got, alpha male sort of podcast bros. Those are still going.
I really hate those guys.
Yeah, the guys who basically... They get OnlyFans models onto their show, pay them money just so they can sit there for an hour and tell them how shit they are and how they're massive whores that are ruining the world.
I actually get sometimes on my YouTube show. I don't have TikTok. Well, we have TikTok.
Yeah,
I don't have TikTok.
Sign up for the TikTok, guys.
Yeah,
we'll put some shorts on there eventually.
That was not a plug, but
it is now.
So I'm on YouTube Shorts because I sometimes need to kill my brain cells because I need to just break away from
sometimes you
reality.
just hate yourself.
Yeah, so I go on YouTube Shorts. And for some reason in my algorithm, sometimes I get those guys with loose ladies. Well, probably they're not loose. I don't know. I never met these ladies. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, you're not going to get a lot out of... You're not going to get to know them by watching that podcast, that's for sure.
So I get them there, and I always be like, okay, click on it, and then block, because I don't want to see it again.
Yeah.
But it always comes back.
Yeah, they're vicious and, what's the word? They're determined fuckers, aren't they? They just keep pumping it out.
What's wrong with YouTube? I really don't want this sort of content. I even intentionally blocked channels so I don't get contact from them, but I still get it.
Yeah.
How is this still getting
they have second channels, it sneaks around the block. It's
ridiculous. It's just annoying.
And even if you block one channel, if another channel starts as soon as you hit that block button, that creates exactly the same shit and is going to try and sell it to you as well.
Such bullshit.
It is, and it's kind of all over the internet now. It didn't used to be as big as it is now. They didn't used to have big expensive cameras and microphones. Oh yeah. But those people were still making bullshit and just feeding it into the internet. There was a bunch of people who got really, really big and famous off that.
Yeah.
Black Pigeon Speaks being one that I remember. He used to fuck with statistics to make it sound like Western civilization is dying because women are sluts, but also aren't having enough babies. Make it make sense.
You reckon that was in the same video, or they were
yeah, in the same video.
I mean, I'm impressed with him. He managed to
drag that out with really boring voiceover, but really scary dramatic music in the background, so it sounds epic and serious.
So you're telling me I should stop putting music in our background?
Yeah. Well, we're not using it to try and manipulate teenagers, so I think...
Are we not? Okay. Sorry.
I should
stop messing with this. I should stop messing with this. You're trying to be serious for a second, and then I'm just... Okay,
No,
sorry.
dude, otherwise it's going to get depressing. Make jokes.
Okay.
So, where we are at the moment, we've got, there's sort of... It's split into two, this men's rights advocacy thing.
Yeah.
On one side, you've got the quote-unquote alphas on these podcasts and doing alpha male life advice, go to the gym and, you gotta lift and don't actually ever tell women that you're attracted to them because if you tell them that they're beautiful, they'll think highly of themselves, and if they think highly of themselves, they'll reject you, and it's... Okay.
So he's basically saying, can you break down psychologically every single woman you meet? So...
Yeah.
You can manipulate them.
Yeah, it's basically gaslighting 101.
Stuff right there. I mean, he is a prime example.
Yeah, he's the king of that shit at the moment. I mean, when he's not in prison.
Well,
is he in prison right now?
I think Florida got him.
Is he actually in a cell or is he under house arrest still?
I think he might be under house arrest.
Oh, good. As long as he's not out there bothering the people of Florida.
But he still has access to the internet.
Yeah, that is unfortunate.
That's what you should take. No, but that's taking civil rights away, right?
Well, it's America. I mean, they're taking civil rights everywhere right now. So maybe if we can convince Andrew Tate to tweet something that's pro-Palestine, then he'll get arrested. So we'll just do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's like the sort of modern epitome of that. But there's tons and tons and tons of other guys trying to emulate that success, and none of them believe any of it.
Probably some of them do believe it in a certain manner.
Some of them do. I mean, they always act like they believe it, but some of them are really shit actors, and they're obviously faking it. They're doing it for clicks and views. That's basically it. It's a side hustle for them. It's all just sort of fake science, and yeah, it's that's part of it anyway. The other side of it is even worse, and that's the incel guys.
So no, because I constantly hear the term incel, but I don't understand completely the terminology of that.
Do you want me to go through it quick?
Real quick, if you can, if you have it on top of your head.
So incel stands for involuntary celibate, basically. So I want to get laid, but I can't. That's the name. It's like a portmanteau of those two words.
Okay.
What these guys do is very different from... They don't put themselves out there like the alpha male podcaster types do. They're not trying to sell stuff and give men advice. Yeah. What they do is they go onto these really, really insular forums and post to each other about how women are evil and their life is shit because women will never love them. That's all they talk about. So
it's more a reflection on themselves being horrible humans.
For the most part, yeah.
Because it's like you can't say somebody's horrible, but you don't put any effort into yourself. I'm gonna sound like one of those guys.
You're Chad-splaining right now.
Yeah, I literally just
with
realized.
Your beard and you're nice haircut, and you're like, well, guys, just bro.
But
just
no, I'll give I can give proper advice, as in, don't be a dick.
Yeah, I mean,
start with that. Start with that.
Start from a baseline.
That's your baseline. There you start. Right? Don't be a dick.
These guys actively reject this advice as Chad-splaining.
Okay.
That's the term, like mansplaining, but with, guys who are more attractive than them. It's a really weird.
So side rant, right?
Yeah.
Yesterday, before coming out to see you at the pub, me and Carolyn were upstairs putting the laundry away. That's the kind of relationship we have. We put laundry away together.
It's like an equal relationship. It's so nice.
So I was trying to explain to her something, but not in a mansplaining way. And this is the thing that really annoys me about the term of mansplaining. I'm just explaining you something. It happens to be a man that says it, but that doesn't mean I'm mansplaining you something, right? Yeah. It has to be patronizing, right?
And it has to be shit you don't actually know about. You're just sort of saying it anyway. You know? That's what I've always defined mansplaining as.
Because you can still explain to a fine lady something about something.
Yeah. Exactly.
But that's not mansplaining.
If she says,
right?
"Oh, I don't actually understand anything about that," it's like, "Oh, well, I've read some stuff on that. Here's what I've read."
Yeah. That's not mansplaining. Yeah, that's just okay. Cool.
But if a woman with a degree in quantum chemistry or something like that,
you're like, no, actually, let me tell you, that atom theory you're talking about, you have no clue.
Yeah,
that's mansplaining.
Exactly.
That's so I do understand the difference.
Yeah, It's not a word that gets used much anymore. It was more of a BuzzFeed thing from back in the day.
Yeah.
But the incel guys, being who they are, decided to put Chad on the front of it. And so anytime you try and give them advice as a regular dude and just say, hey man, I don't think all women are, psychotic robot machines who will only look at you if you're above 6 foot tall.
Yeah.
That's factually untrue, my dude. And then you go, you're Chad-splaining because you're tall. You're taller than average, therefore you would never understand my struggle. And it's like a way of keeping them in this horrible victim complex cycle they've got.
Yeah.
And you may know some of the more famous incels, like Elliot Rodger and a bunch of school shooters. That guy who shot up Plymouth a couple of years ago. It's very rare to get mass shootings in the UK.
Yeah.
A lot of us don't. Most of us don't have guns.
I mean, you should be. You should be really committed to
you have to be committed, yeah.
Especially, I think we already talked about this. Did I tell you how hard it is to get a gun license in this country?
It's not super difficult, but it is expensive.
No, it's really. They made it really hard. It takes about a year and a half, And in order for you to get the gun license, you have to prove why you're getting the gun license, which is fair. You can't say it's self-defense because you can't buy guns for self-defense.
Because that's a bullshit excuse anyway.
Exactly. And then you have to build in a gun safe, which is heavier than 150 kilograms.
Mm-hmm. Has to be solid.
It has to be solid, so nobody can just steal your safe.
And they send inspectors around a lot.
They send inspectors. Yeah. And then you apply for the license, which takes about 7 months, and you have to be part of a shooting
like club. Yeah.
So it's really hard.
It is hard.
So that guy that had a gun, I mean, it's a little bit impressive because he managed to get a gun in this country, right? I mean, not impressive in a good way, impressive even somebody fucked up.
Oh wow, he was really committed to the bit.
Yeah.
You know? He was committed to this a little bit of trolling that he was doing, quote unquote, when he like shot 3 people.
Horrible.
But hard to pull off a mass shooting in the UK. The only guy who managed it was an incel, at least in the last few years.
Really? Was it proven that he was an incel?
Yeah, he called himself that when the police brought him in. So that's why I think this movement is a lot more serious than people give it credit for. You know, these guys are basically locked in their homes all day, because posting on forums and like psychotically focusing on how lonely and miserable they are. But that's not good for anybody, you know?
But you would think that will be sort of a derogatory term for them, calling them incels, being like, oh, you're such an incel, as in an insult. But
it is an insult, yeah.
But they're embracing it.
Yeah, they call themselves it, because we'll get into it a little bit later, but
cool.
These people
I'm jumping the gun again, aren't I?
Maybe, but these people have absolutely no self-esteem. And it's sort of evidence as to why really poor self-esteem, twinned with a whole bunch of other stuff, can just completely fuck you, like mentally. Anyway, we'll talk about the cycle of loneliness stuff in a sec. The other thing that the term you'll probably need to know, because everyone sort of says that it's not as common as it used to be, but the red pill mantra. You've heard that?
Yeah, I heard that. The blue pill, red pill matrix.
Yeah.
And then they made a meme out of it, and then they're just using it everywhere.
Yeah, and the people who created the Matrix, the Wachowski sisters, are 2 trans women. And the whole point of the Matrix was a metaphor for being trans. Like, the red pill is the same color as the pills of estrogen they used to take.
Really?
Yeah, that's where the red pill comes from.
Really?
Yeah,
you just blew my mind right now.
Yeah, it's all a metaphor for being trans. It's weird, but when you watch the Matrix again, you'll go, actually, I kind of see it. You know,
because watch the Matrix again.
The main character has like one identity, which is boring and stiff, and like, you know, controls him, and he has to like take bullshit from a boss in a suit, and he gets all these expectations he doesn't want thrown at him, and then he becomes Neo. He becomes free. He becomes liberated, and he gets to become who he wants to be, or, you know, what's a better fit for him. You know?
Wow.
Yeah. Basically, if they released it today, they would call it woke.
No, they won't. There's guns and chicks in it.
Oh, yeah. Well, watch them, trust me. But yeah, the Matrix references are always very, very funny. There's constant like tweets of the Wachowski sisters telling people who are misusing this terminology to go fuck themselves. But of course, nobody listens because, you know, what the fuck do the people who wrote The Matrix know about The Matrix?
Yeah, they wouldn't know anything.
Of course not.
It was a higher power that gave them the knowledge to write The Matrix.
Yeah, it arrived through the ether one day.
It's a stupid joke, probably. But the incel gods gave them their visions to these 2 women to write the movie. So
right. For them to base their entire lives around it.
Exactly.
And get it wrong.
Exactly.
Yeah, they have a lot of very, very stupid ideas. We'll go over a couple of them. One thing they love to do is to add maxing to the end of something.
Okay.
So, like, you take a word and you put maxing at the end of it. So, doing that thing to the point of obsessiveness. Like, looks maxing, where you get guys hitting themselves in the face with hammers to change their shape of their face. And
is that towards the outcome of getting girls or towards not getting girls?
Allegedly, I guess. The thing is, when they talk about these things, they seem to hate women, like, that's the first principle. That's the first thing they're going off. So what they're trying to look better to attract women, but not in a way that makes the woman happy. Because if the woman's happy, then it means you're doing something wrong and you're not controlling her enough or something. I don't know.
Dude, it's so many levels of fucked up.
It's a lasagna of bullshit at that, and really, really dumb ideas and like self-fulfilling prophecies and yeah.
Yeah, because like I'm trying to sort of in my head make sense of everything because you know I'm decently logical person, even though, I'm led by my emotions. But still, my dude, if you are hating on women, then you're trying to make yourself attractive for women to like you, but you don't want them to like you, but because they're gonna be happy. But if they're gonna be happy, you're gonna be unhappy because what?
Yeah, it's very much like that. It's the funny thing is, a lot of this like sort of men's rights shit started because of like guys who were upset about feminism. Like, they were upset about these man-hating feminists. All they want to do is hate men and blah, blah, blah.
But that's not what feminism is.
No, it's not what feminism is. But there are just a small, like, cohort of, like, Jermaine Greer types who actually do really kind of hate men.
Yeah.
They're kind of insane.
Yeah.
But because, hating men is not the same thing as being in favor of women. That's a completely different thing.
Yeah.
And what these men's rights guys don't understand is that hating women does not mean that you're in favor of things being better for men.
Yeah.
In fact, you can often make it much worse.
You are making it much worse because you're kind of pushing other people towards your idea, which is a bad idea.
Yeah, when it's not going to make them happier.
Yeah, you think you're gonna give them the right pill for them to move on with their lives and become better, but you're not. You're just making everybody else, which is going down this road, worse.
Yeah. It's a lot of it's based on like this classic idea of like men being breadwinner, men should make money, women should stay home and clean, that kind of shit. And the problem with that, and trying to bring that back, quote unquote, as if it's not, because that's not a thing that happens so much anymore. The problem with that is that they forget that being just a breadwinner and having a wife that's only with you because she can't leave you without being broke, that's fucking miserable.
It is miserable.
You don't want that in your life, but they ignore these things.
Yeah.
It's a huge collection of very, very bad ideas. Here's another one. Height maxing. They like to put maxing on things. This is where guys go to Thailand and get their legs broken.
Oh, I know
several times.
I know this one. And then they they put a metal rod to make their legs longer.
Yeah.
So the bone grows over the metal. Oh, it's not metal, it's stainless steel, which metal.
It's a really long, like 6 months of just being in constant fucking pain. And
just to get to be higher.
About 2 or 3 inches taller. That's it.
Right. Right.
Woo. I could be like 6'2". Amazing.
I am short. Dude, I am like a little bit under average short. And I am okay with it.
Yeah. Like, it's fine. Have you ever... I'll tell you what. Let's disprove some incel notions right now.
Okay.
Have you ever had problems approaching women, having girlfriends, or getting laid?
No.
Never at any point in your life?
No.
Despite being, like, a bit under average height?
Yeah, no. And also, just to add salt to injury, until about 17-year-old Andre, I was really fat. Like, I'm talking really fat. And I was still okay.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I was like 10 stone and didn't have any muscles and wear glasses.
Let me work out what 10 stone is.
Really light. Okay, I was really light for my height. Okay, I was like bordering on like being. I was so skinny, dude. But I never had any problems with it either. And it's not because I'm like some sort of. It's not like I'm some sort of seduction expert or anything.
Yeah.
You just, if you're friendly and you talk to people.
Yeah.
It's easy to make friends.
My trick is I need to be funny. That always works for me.
Yeah,
I got nothing working for me, but I am funny.
Yeah. Like, people seem to forget that, most of the time when you're sat and talking to people, if you're the one making them laugh, then, people are going to have a higher opinion of you.
Yeah,
and,
pretty much.
It's not a guaranteed win. There are no guaranteed wins.
There's no guaranteed wins.
The other thing that these guys like to do is focus on really stupid fake psychology bullshit. Yeah. And this gets under my skin especially because I'm a psychology guy. It's my thing.
Yeah.
They usually draw from the school of what's called evolutionary psychology. Do you know roughly what that is? Or?
No, but you're going to tell me.
Okay, I'm going to go into it. Okay, so evolutionary psychology, or evo-psych, as it's shortened to because, we're short on time here. Evo-psych is basically the idea that human beings are animals, right?
Yeah.
We're monkeys that their fur fell off one day.
Well, we're not.
Are you going to say that we're related to squirrels?
No, we're not related to squirrels. I wish.
You can climb those trees. Like
I could climb a tree. No, but if I'm not wrong, we're not directly evolved from monkeys, but
No.
different species, and
We have a common ancestor.
We got common ancestors. Yeah.
But being essentially apes that like got rid of their fur one day, the idea of like evopsych is that there are still parts of the human brain that are very animal. You know, we need food, needs to breed, need shelter, need to stay alive. You know, all that sort of like basic survival-y stuff.
Well, basically, we still have the instinct. Some of the instincts.
We still have
not
most of our
all
instincts.
of them, but still have some of the instincts.
Yeah, we still have quite a few of those.
Oh.
The point these guys make is that evolutionary psychology says like all men are destined to breed and all women are destined to be bred. It's like, okay, yeah, everyone has the urge to reproduce in some sort of way, right?
Yeah.
Cool. Where you lose me is when you say, well, because of men are supposed to hunt and women are supposed to not hunt, therefore men should be in charge of everything. It's like, whoa. Cavemen did not live like that, my dude. Everyone in the tribe hunted because they needed everyone to fucking secure the kill.
Yeah.
Everyone helped raise children because there was a lot of children and nobody knew who is the father.
Pretty much, yeah.
I mean, the girl in the cave 2 doors down might have slept with you, but she might have also slept with like 8 other guys. That week. Like, fuck it, who knows? Everyone's banging each other because we're cavemen. Like, we're not really thinking too much about it.
Yeah.
So the only reason that people started giving a shit about who was whose kids was when we had property involved.
Yeah.
Because then you got to work out who inherits stuff, basically. But yeah, a lot of people say, well, back in the cavemen days, this happened, therefore we have to do it today. Do we?
Do we have to?
Yeah. Like, do we have to, like, not cook our meat properly and die of, brain parasites? Do we have to?
No, not really. No.
It's a stupid argument.
I like a really well rare steak, like the next guy, but still.
Yeah, it has to be, like, not full of parasites for it to really kick.
No, that doesn't help.
Yeah. So a lot of there's a lot of symptoms of this sort of fake evopsych shit, and most of it comes from Jordan Peterson, if I'm honest.
Oh.
Yeah. He's like, well, women can't work in the workplace because, like, they're simulating being aroused with their makeup and it's, like, distracting. And I'm like, and the dude across is like, I work with women every day, dude. I don't know what you're talking about. Jordan Peterson has actually got a lot of stuff, like, connecting him to the alpha male scene, specifically Andrew Tate.
Oh.
Did you know that Andrew Tate used to go out with his daughter?
No way.
Yeah, that was part of the reason why he got so big so quickly. Seriously, like, lucky break on his part, because at the time, Jordan Peterson was in Russia in a chemically induced coma because he couldn't get off benzos. So she was obviously hanging around in the area and just went to Romania and ran into Andrew Tate.
No
I believe that's how they met. It's kind of a weird,
That's so weird.
Yeah, I know. I don't imagine it was a happy relationship.
No, I don't think so.
If you can call that a relationship with that guy. But anyway.
I don't think it's a relationship with that guy. Have you seen his early... I'm talking about Andrew Tate. Have you seen his early videos on the internet?
No.
Have you not?
Not the early ones.
No, so I didn't see the videos themselves, but I seen people having commentary on his videos. And his initial material... absolute crap. He was like, oh, you don't need a lot of equipment to work out. You just have to get and do it.
So he was basically just doing the Shia LaBeouf scream, just do it, into the, like...
So he grabs this dumbbell, right? And he's like, you just need this. And then shows you 3 different exercises and he's doing them all wrong.
So it's like weightlifting with bad form.
So for somebody that goes to the gym and watching him do the exercises, I'm like, oh, cringing so badly.
Yeah.
I'm like, my dude, you're teaching people how to break their backs, and you're teaching people not to do form. It's important because you don't want to be more sick after working out, right?
If you injure yourself, you can't work out anymore.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's a huge problem.
Like this guy.
Yeah, you slightly buggered your back, didn't you?
Yeah. No, I buggered my shoulders.
Oh, right. I forget which part.
Which part I broke this time. Yeah. Okay. But May, it's coming back. May. I'll be good in May.
Excellent. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of stuff that sort of grew out of this. That is like kind of niche versions of like the incels and the alpha male lunatics. There's a whole bunch of fake Muslims, for one. A bunch of white guys turning to Islam because they think that the laws that, oppress women are part of Islam when they're not.
But that's...
They're mostly in, like, the local cultures that practice Islam, like the Pashtun community or whatever. It's not something that's, like, written down strictly in Islam. It's a whole thing. And a bunch of people are like, oh, hey, these Muslims hate women. that's a great idea. And they join up. And it's like, wow, you are the most pathetic grifters I've ever seen. What is the point? None of you would last a day in Saudi Arabia. You would say something wrong and get your hands cut off.
Pretty much.
Yeah, and you'd probably deserve it.
Yeah. Yep.
There's also a huge overlap with the porn addict community. Incels spending all the time in their rooms posting about how they hate women. What do they do to get their kicks? They have porn addictions, basically, that they actively fuel and blame on women for not sleeping with them because they think as soon as they get their end away, they're going to stop being porn addicts. That's not how that works.
That's not how we get rid of an addiction.
Yeah. What I need to do is, go do this thing that's basically kind of similar, but, less regular. And it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. To be honest, I spent some time a while ago, not recently, but I was working on another project about the cycle of loneliness. Yeah. And, in a nutshell, the cycle of loneliness is when you have an expectation for, your social life, and that expectation is not being met.
Yeah.
Basically. So if you have an expectation that's not being met, there's, one of two things you can do. You can either try and, improve your social life to meet your expectations, or you can lower your expectations. Now, if you lower your expectations, you start thinking things like, well, I don't actually need friends because, every time I have friends, they eventually leave me anyway, so there's no point in having friends. And I'm never going to get laid or have a girlfriend because women are all whores. And then, as long as you lower your expectations, eventually you lower where you are as well because you're having just a worse social life in general.
Yeah.
So your thoughts about other people affect your behavior, make you a worse person to be around, make you less socialized, make you, change your expectations. And then you go again. And then you go back round and round. You lower
your expectations again. And
it's a very well studied phenomenon. It's very, very interesting. And it's how incels basically went from a bunch of people moaning online into the sort of cult that you have these days. And they are very much a cult. I have no problems describing them as that. Features that they have which make them like a cult. Let's make a list. Number 1.
You have a list.
I have a list of features that make them like a cult.
It's a long list as well.
It's a fairly long list. Number 1. If you try and leave the cult, they will rain hell down upon you. Okay? Very interesting story. Happened a couple of years ago. There was a moderator, a big important guy on one of these incel forums. He got laid.
Oh, good for him.
I know. He lost his virginity at the age of 25 or something. And it's oh, actually, that's not that uncommon, but whatever.
Yeah, it's
it's pretty normal, There's loads of people who just don't find someone until 25. That's fine. But he posted well, I guess I'm not part of the incel community anymore. And the incels absolutely dogpiled him. They were yeah, well, good luck in your new life as someone who gets put, what was it? Pity pussy from stinky bitches, I believe was the phrase. And it's and then they basically took the bros before hoes thing and just turned it up to 11 and said, well, you're just whoring yourself out to degenerate sluts and just going off and using, And this guy was dude, no one wants to be an incel. I thought we all agreed that this sucked and we didn't want this. I thought we all agreed we wanted to get laid and I've managed to do it. Why are you having a... And they were no, you're just betraying the movement. They got so pissed off. It was literally a cult turning on a Scientology turning on people for being suppressive people or whatever their phrase is. Yeah. Tom Cruise, sue me, bitch.
Please don't.
He doesn't know who we are.
Of course he doesn't. But one day, it's going to come out of the...
I thought you were a nice guy, Tom. Why are you getting so litigious, Tom? Anyway, the second thing that makes them like a cult, they won't have their mind changed by evidence. So,
which is it's the biggest cult thing.
Yeah, basically, you could show scientific proof to them that they are wrong, and it won't matter. They will not change anything.
So my plan to selling these people a program to change their lives not gonna work.
No, they hate the alpha bros as much as they hate themselves.
Billy, I was first of all not an alpha bro. Second of all, I'm a beta at best. I thought we're
You know,
doing...
that whole alpha beta thing was come up with by a neo-Nazi?
I know.
It's so
hilarious.
It's always fucking neo-Nazis everywhere. They always just look hard enough at
So
anything.
we're not doing this episode because I can sell them anything, right? Like
No.
I thought that's what we're doing.
No.
Oh, I'm done. I'm leaving.
We're gonna cut this section here.
Cut it here. We're done here. No, go on.
Unfortunately, selling stuff to them doesn't usually work. They try to sell stuff to each other sometimes, like, "Hey guys, look, I'm like totally looks maxing this," and they're like, "Yeah, fuck off. It's not gonna work. You're still ugly." Like that's what their forums are like.
I love a good community that
supports
you. Yeah.
That's the thing. It's like it's almost a sort of cycle of reinforcing their self-hate.
Yeah.
And they go there and just scream at each other about how all of us are doomed and we're never going to get laid and we're unfuckable losers for the rest of our lives. And it's like half these people are like fucking 19. And when they do post photos of themselves, they look fine. They look completely average. They just look like a random guy at the bus stop. It's like, oh god, if
I look at random guys at the bus stop now, Billy, because you said that.
You're gonna start judging them. It's like, is he one? Is he gonna snap? That's a long package he's carrying there.
After we put this episode up there, we're gonna have a target on our back.
Oh yeah, for sure. There's probably gonna be a bunch of people in the comments screaming about it.
I love that.
I know.
I like
Good.
that.
Bring it on. So the other thing that makes them like a cult, they have their own, basically, like we've talked about, looks maxing and height maxing.
Yeah.
They have like a whole bunch of basically an entire dictionary of their own language, their own terms that they use. Like you can go onto these forums, and if you're not prepared for it and you don't know what the words mean, it's like trying to read gibberish from it's like trying to read fucking Klingon when you've never seen Star Trek. You know, it's that they use their own terms, and like what's the word? If a man is taller than them, they will describe themselves as being height mogged. Which, it's like, I got totally height mogged at this bar by this 6'2" Giga Chad or some shit like that. It's all a bit homoerotic when you look at it like that.
I mean, they should all get gay and then get with each other, and that's problems. I just solved their problem.
Yeah, time to get gay, fellas.
Just solved it. It's done. You can hate women. You can choose to hate women.
Yeah.
Right? You have a partner. You got laid. There you go.
Yeah.
It's all done. It's all solved.
It's a really obvious solution, but for some reason they just haven't thought of that.
Yeah.
And also bear in mind, they do hate women, but they also hate each other as much as they hate women. and themselves.
That's fine, because it's actually a give and take relationship.
To be fair,
they hate each other. They would have hated women anyway. So,
and they're saving some poor woman from having to deal with their bullshit.
Exactly.
Yeah. Cool. Everyone wins.
It's like no middleman, women in this case. It's all done. It's all just get it done.
The female incels, they do exist. They're a unique thing. They are completely separate from this, because it's just that's wild in a completely different way.
Okay.
Yeah, it's worth looking into. We might do an episode on it at some point. But
I don't think
very wild.
I don't think we're right to do a female incel episode.
No, we'll have to get
because then
we'll have to get some girls to pretend to be us.
Yeah. Babe.
Last thing that makes them very much like a cult, and it's just this constant fucking circle of emotional abuse. Like, it's everywhere. If someone posts something like positive, it's like, oh hey, like I met this girl today and like she was really nice and we talked for a bit and we're gonna hang out and like do some schoolwork like after class. I'm looking forward to it. And then like literally the next like comment underneath it will be like, you fucking beta bitch, blue pill motherfucker, you're never gonna get laid, she hates you, she thinks you're a pathetic waste of time, she's only there to help so she can like steal your notes, you freak, you can't believe you got your hopes up. And it's like, what the fuck, man? Talk about it's the opposite of being supportive. It's just deliberately being a piece of shit to your homies online. And it's like, why?
It's depressing me, to be honest.
Yeah. Dude, like, if you want to be depressed and like hate humanity for the rest of your life, like go onto those forums and try and spend an hour there. Like just read shit. Like random, like, oh, what's the top rated posts of this week? And it's just like, oh, here's a doctored photo of like a Tinder profile where a guy admits to being a rapist pedophile, and look, he's still getting matches. That means women are evil. And that's like
that could be fake.
It is fake. That's the thing. I'm pretty sure that one was obviously faked. Like, it looks like a botched fucking clip job. And it's like, and also they obviously like, it's got like a photo of like a male model, and it's like, I'm not sure that's a real guy. I'm not sure that's really... Yeah. It's fucking dumb.
It's like one of those... I don't know who falls for them. I hope nobody falls for them. Did you ever get a WhatsApp message saying, I have jobs available in your area?
Oh.
And there's always a hot chick profile picture?
Yeah, it's like...
So the moment... So I get a little bit of a high replying to those. Because I have long-ass conversations, and at the end, I ask them which part of India they're from. I know it's racist, you assume it's always... But...
There's a lot of scammers that come from India, yeah.
Either that, one dude actually admitted to me he's Nigerian.
Oh.
I'm like, cool, man. Cool.
Fair
I'm
enough.
like, well, I'm Romanian. Nice to meet you.
And thus a long-term friendship was born.
No, it's just I wasted probably at least 20 minutes of his time. So I feel like that's a win.
Yeah.
Like
you've scam baited enough. You know?
Yeah. I'm like, okay, cool, man. Nice talking to you. I'm blocking you now, and I'm just blocking him. Like I always ended up super politely, and I don't know why. Because these are clear scammers. Why am I being polite to scammers?
Well, because it's funny leading them on, you know.
And they're like, "Cool, thanks for the entertainment."
Yeah. And you never know, you might crack one day, and they might start telling you about like how what the reason why they're doing scamming is to
genuinely. I would love that.
Yeah,
I will genuinely love that. Just tell me how was your life?
Yeah,
what led you there?
You say, well, I'm living in the middle of a war-torn country. I need money somehow, and this is the only way my mother gets to eat. You know,
I feel really bad for you, man.
Yeah, but have you ever considered not being that, not trying to steal my money? Like, anyway,
moving on. Rant over.
But yeah, basically these guys are stupid enough to fall for all those scams. Like, these are the guys who, when they saw like those 90s internet banner ads of like, make your dick grow by 13 inches in like 14 seconds, and it's like they would actually click on those, you know, because they're mostly that stupid. They fall for, you know. The funny thing is they fall for a bunch of like, oh hey, here's how you improve your looks, blah blah blah. Yeah. But then they also hate them like each other for falling for it. Like a bunch of them will fall for it and then come back going like, oh yeah, well it didn't actually work. And then a bunch of them will be like, yeah, prove you're stuck as you are, you can't change. And it's just evil, hateful shit all the way down. No matter what somebody does, they're going to get a bunch of evil, hateful shit from their supposed rest of their community.
Yeah, well, you can't really call it a community.
It's a collection of really depressed people, and you know they're not helping themselves either. Yeah, one of the things that they react really badly to, I know because I did sort of try this a little bit, suggesting any kind of therapy or medical help, or like, hey, have you talked to someone about your issues? And they'll go, no, therapy is for beta blue pill cucks who like. It's all the same response. They have exactly the same response to everything, and if you mention therapy to them, they freak out and come up with the 18 fake reasons why therapy doesn't work and throw like bullshit like meme pages at you. It's just like, look, here's proof that therapy doesn't work, and it's like,
no, therapy works. Therapy's great.
Therapy's good. Everyone should go to therapy. You know, even if you're perfectly happy, you should probably work out why you're perfectly happy. You know,
wait. Why do I? Well, sometimes you shouldn't question everything.
No, maybe not question everything.
Okay,
but,
if you're happy, just be happy.
Yeah, but
you don't necessarily need to go to therapy.
But you know, I think happy and healthy people should go to therapy anyway, just to learn a little bit more about how your mind works, how people think, how people form ideas.
This is like that comedian that she showed us last night.
Yeah, I didn't know I had anxiety. I thought I was just being polite. We're not going to do the whole bit here, but it's a good bit. We're not. Good bit.
Well, it's nice to realize you have anxiety.
Yeah, it is. That's the thing. Like, how often do you think about the stuff you don't think about? So yeah, like any good cult, the Incel lot, they basically form like a sort of identity around being unfuckable losers, and once they've decided, like, my identity is an unfuckable loser, then it sort of spreads out into the rest of their life and basically ruins it.
Yeah.
You know, it makes you treat women like shit. It makes you treat other people as if they're not real. It makes you smug because they think they understand how the human mind works at a different level.
It goes back. I go back to the same question. You can't be unfuckable and smug.
No.
They don't go together. It's like two different sort of states, right?
Yeah.
You're either unfuckable or you're smug.
It's like being fat and then calling Adele fat. You know, you can't.
She is not fat.
She's not.
She's
fat.
beautiful.
She's lost weight now.
She's lost a lot of weight.
I think she looked better when she was big, but that's just me. You know, I think she looked. You know, she was like, you know, a big deal for like fat acceptance because like she did not give a fuck.
But actually,
and she's an opera singer. Of course, she wasn't. But the thing is, if you like deliberately like set up your identity as I am unfuckable and that is a bad thing. I am a bad person. That sort of spirals you down into this horrible fucking pit of self-hate, which you then externalize onto other people and make their lives even shittier as well. So the more that you invest in the idea that you're not going to have any friends or partners, the less likely you are to get friends or partners. You think that'd be pretty obvious. These guys have been convinced that they've cracked the code of human psychology wide open and they can see everything. And they're just really, really sad and depressed young men. That's all you're doing to yourself, you know. And you know, a lot of people say, "Well, incels, why are you stigmatizing being an incel?" I was like, I'm not stigmatizing being an incel. I'm stigmatizing being a fucking asshole. Yeah. And if your entire movement and identity is built around being an asshole, I think that's okay to stigmatize that. Frankly, you know.
Well, because they could always just decide to change. They can always decide to go to therapy. They can always just decide to listen to somebody that is actually an adult. Yeah. Because they don't sound like they're being adult. They sound like they're being children. And some of them are children. But also, if you're 25 and you just sit in your own misery and you know you could get help and get help, then it's on you, man.
At a certain point, it is on you. You know? There's I heard a really good line about like younger people as you sort of age into your 30s and stuff. When you're really young, you can sort of get away with doing dumb shit by saying, well, I'm young. I'm going to do dumb shit, but I'm going to learn from this and I won't make
But that's the whole point of life, right?
You do dumb shit and you learn from it. The whole point is that, you think you're going to grow out of it one day. Eventually, you're going to grow out of it. Because I won't have these issues when I'm fully grown. Yeah. But then you hit a certain point, you're like, oh, well, I've still got all these problems. At some point, you just kind of are the man that you are, and you have to work on it. Yeah,
because you have to work on yourself. That's the point. Like I think I told you the story before. Well, it's not a story. It's something that happens to me a little bit too often. I sit in bed at night, right, and I try to fall asleep, and I'm left alone with my own thoughts, which is never a good idea. And I think about situations of things that I did in the past, and I look back at it and I cringe. I cringe really hard. Somebody told me once, that's actually a sign that you grow, because you did that stupid thing. You look back at that stupid thing you did, and then you start cringing, because you're like, oh, why did I do that? That's so stupid. That means you've grown. You learned something from that. Yeah. So there's like,
compare that to the opposite, which would be someone looking back at like something they did which was shitty like 10 years ago and going, yeah, I still agree, that bitch deserved it. Like that's a sign that you're not fucking growing.
you're not going anywhere with your life.
Yeah, you're fucking up at that point.
Yeah, you might be doing worse than before.
Yeah, to be honest, probably
because you probably embedded the same concept in your head so hard at this point. Because probably initially you're not having the concept in your head embedded that hard. And then the more you do the same thing, it gets more embedded into your nature.
If you keep going back to that memory and going, yeah, I was so right when I called her a fucking fat whore, like, okay, are you sure? Like, you don't want to, it's been 10 years, don't you have a different perspective now?
No,
like,
probably not.
Apparently some people just don't, some people never got out of hise school.
See, this is where you look at the internet and you're like, was it a good idea?
I'm not sure these days.
Because the more you look at it, you're like, was it a good idea to give all these people the ability to communicate with each other?
Sometimes no. Like it's what's that old 4chan meme? The problem with the internet is that 25 years ago, if a guy wanted to fuck toasters, he would just be shunned from society and not do anything about it. But now he can go online and find a forum of 25 other toaster fuckers from around the world, and he can get convinced that fucking a toaster is actually a good idea.
You mean Reddit?
Yeah. You can find r/toaster fuckers and just spend all your time with people who are just as fucked as you. That's basically what's happening here. What I wanted to do, though, we've only got like 10 minutes or whatever left, just to round out the hour, shall we just go down like some really basic advice that we can give these people? You know,
We can.
if they were going to listen, which they won't,
Oh, probably not.
they're probably going to, they're probably already typing in the comments in all captions like, "Oh my god, you don't understand it, you haven't read it." It's like, no, trust me, I've read your forums, guys. They suck. Get off them.
Okay. Well, first
piece of advice:
get off the forums.
get off the forums. Go outside, please. Touch some grass. Meet people, not names on a forum board, please.
That's good advice.
That's a good start. Here's a good one. Try speed dating. Speed dating is a lot of fun. I've done it a couple of times. Always got you into interesting conversations.
Never got into speed dating. I've never been on a dating app in my life.
I tried dating apps a couple of times, and to be honest, they're really not worth it. A lot of these
seems very stressful.
It is. That's the thing. And a lot of the negative sort of feedback that these guys give themselves comes from looking at Tinder stats.
Oh,
Which is that's a terrible gauge of human behavior, my dude. That's like for very specific groups of people. It's for people who are single, desperate, and like not particularly choosy.
Yeah.
Especially the men on there, because the men will just go swipe right, swipe, swipe, and then just like send dick pics to everybody who matches.
Yeah.
Like that's the male strategy on there, and that's not good. That's not a sensible thing either.
So number 3.
Oh, more advice. Get new hobbies.
Oh, that's nice. Get into Warhammer. No,
Yeah,
actually,
no. Unless
get into
if you've got enough money to get into Warhammer, then
don't get into Warhammer.
Get into buying expensive speedboats.
It's a very. I mean, you'll get better if you buy expensive speedboats. It will be a better hobby than
than
getting into Warhammer.
Yeah.
It's so expensive.
It's at least the speedboat will be real. It won't be plastic.
Yeah.
But yeah, try new hobbies. Like go play D&D. Take up fucking jiu-jitsu. Do something. If you are unhappy,
preferably something in a better community.
Yeah, something where community isn't full of dickheads. That's why I suggested jiu-jitsu, because jiu-jitsu people are usually very nice.
Yeah.
They're very, very chill people, even while they're throwing you across the room.
Yeah. Like, oh, you're okay now. Oh,
yeah.
you're fine.
And you'll be like, motherfucker. But there'll be cool people there, even if they're just friends, even if they're just like, male friends. Go and meet new people, man. Go meet new people. Like, it's fun. Find a good local pub where you can sit out the back and just have conversations with randos, which is how I met Andre. So,
that was fun.
Fourth piece of advice: treat people as if they're people.
Oh,
I know.
That's not just for that's not just for them. That's advice. That's for everybody else in the world.
That's just good life advice. Remember that every single other person is exactly the same as you in one particular respect. They are alive. They have similar thoughts, and they have similar perceptions, and they are also limited to their single perception of one.
Yeah.
Everyone is basically an equal in that sort of regard. So treat people as people. Women are not magical elves that you have to trick into sleeping with you. Like, I didn't go into this too much, but a lot of guys, like, you ever heard of a book called The Game?
I think so.
Yeah, it's basically like a guide to how to seduce women using these, like, simple tips.
I know the book.
Yeah, the guy retracted it and wrote a different book, about 10 years later. But the damage was already done.
Yeah. And
a bunch of people think, oh, well, if you tap the woman on the shoulder 3 times, use these opening lines, that means she will automatically somehow want to fuck you more. Which is not how it works.
That's
It's not like picking a lock on a safe or some shit.
That's not a thing. Don't do that.
It's a person. It's not like you have to summon like the spirit of the... it's a woman, so you have to summon her soul to her body with a unique ritual involving like 18 stones and like 3 cocktails. And it's... no, that doesn't work. If anyone does sort of like say, oh, this is a tip that will help you seduce women, they're lying.
They're probably lying, yeah.
Yeah, they're
100%
they're
lying.
universally lying.
They're trying to sell you something.
They're trying to sell
like,
you on something.
For example, if you want all of this in a transcript... No, I'm sorry. I tried to do a bit where I sold
Fuck you, I had Coke in my mouth for that one. We are selling this for $29.99.
It's just one payment, and then you can change your life.
It's a 4-week course where we will teach you to not only seduce women, but for them to tell their friends how good you are.
Yeah. And also, if you are the first 100 people that buy it, I'll give you the opportunity to buy me a beer.
Oh, thank you, great master. Thank you, wise sensei.
We're gonna get so much hate.
Good. Yeah, don't fall for idiots like us on the internet trying to sell you shit. It's never going to work out.
Yeah.
No one has ever had like a good story that begins with, well, I clicked on this advert on the internet.
Yeah.
No good story has ever started like that. So don't be one of those
Yeah.
people.
Good story start. I met this dude in a pub.
Literally.
And we have a podcast. That's a good story.
That's a good start of a story. Like,
Yeah.
oh, I met this guy in the pub. That's where you should be. Out in pubs, meeting people.
Yeah. You don't have to drink alcohol.
No, don't even have
Just
to do
go
that.
have a lime and soda. I don't know.
Yeah,
Boring
lime and
ass.
soda's cheap. Don't buy Coca-Cola because it's really expensive. But go there, have a lime and soda, chill, observe human behavior. Think of yourself as like a spy, observing the natural world, and have conversations with people. It'll be fun. Next piece of advice. I forget which number. Don't make being unloved and unfuckable part of who you are. Like, because that's a temporary state at best.
Yeah.
All right?
We've all been there.
Yeah. We've all had dry patches.
Yeah.
We've all had spells where we had nobody in our life and it really sucked for the most part.
Actually, those are I found when I was single, those were the best moments in the idea that I could work on myself.
Oh, yeah. If you've got like a project, like in terms of self-improvement, it does help being single.
Yeah, because then you learn, this is going to sound so cliche. You're going to learn to love yourself before you learn to love somebody. Oh, that
Eat, pray, love, Andre. Eat, pray, and love.
I cringe when I said that.
It's kind of true, though.
It is, though.
It's like the self-forgiveness thing. Like, until you forgive yourself for your past actions, you're never going to get over them. That kind of shit.
Yeah.
Being able to love yourself is actually really hard and takes a lot of work. So if you are single, that's a good time to do that because you're not going to have anyone else's opinions. It's just going to be okay, just me. Why do I not like myself? Let's work it out. Approach it seriously because you can get some serious growth out of that if you try hard enough. Oh, just a couple of notes. When you're communicating with people, give a shit about who they are.
Yeah.
Like, ask them about their life. Listen to their stories. If you've got a story that's similar, you tell your story after they're finished with their story. Yeah. That's just a good, few methods of communicating.
Yeah, that's the, basic sort of way of communicating.
It's amazing how many people don't have it. I had to learn it by brute force as well. I'm on the spectrum a little bit, so a lot of this stuff did not come naturally to me. I had to sort of brute force learn it over the course of my life. When everyone says like, oh, we've got nothing in common, usually
that's actually a good thing. Sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes that's a good thing. And also, most of the time people say, oh, we've got nothing in common and we don't like the same TV show. No. The bit that matters, is do you, when they have stories about how they came to a certain understanding of something in their life, where they got their opinions from, that kind of thing. Yeah. If you have a story that's similar to theirs, you can understand their perspective. People like that. Yeah. People like feeling like their perspective is being understood.
Even though you think they're complete bullshit, their perspective, but that's not the point.
Yeah, right? I mean, understanding the perspective is the
because you listen sometimes to people and they're like, oh, that's bullshit, but I mean, so is this story.
Yeah, it's your opinion, and I can listen to your opinion. I don't necessarily agree with it, but I understand how you got there.
I'm so glad you said the nicer than me. You kind of cleaned up my act. It's like, oh, Andre, we're trying to do something here. Yeah. Stop saying shit.
I'm good at translating things into soft language. That's basically my job. I think that's basically as much advice as we can give without Chad splaining the entire thing. So we'll leave it there for now, I think, guys. Yeah. I hope this has been an edifying episode, and if nothing else, you can take away from the fact that even if your life sucks, it's not as bad as these people.
Yeah, true. And Elon Musk is a cunt.
And Elon Musk is a cunt. Goodbye.
Thank you. Bye.